Okay, good afternoon to one and all students. Today we are going to begin chapter 9, environmental management. Okay, for that I would like to share the screen with you. So in this chapter we will be learning about the weather and climate, right? What is weather, what is climate? So your lesson begins with weather and climate. Then we are going to learn about meteorology, what is solid waste management, and what is disaster management. So let us begin with weather and climate, right? Now, what is the difference between weather and climate? Are they same or different? They are different. Okay. So weather is nothing but atmospheric conditions at a particular place at a specific time, right? So what we can say about weather, it is the atmospheric conditions at a particular place at specific time. Can you tell me what is the weather today, students? Give the answers using public chat. Look outside just and give the answers. What you feel the weather today? Hot and humid. Very good. Okay. Cloudy. Kundan is saying cloudy. Okay. Manasvi. Good. Okay. It's hot, cloudy, humid. Okay. This type of answers I am getting, right? Because it is what you can say that it is a particular place at specific time, it is different, right? So which factors are affecting the weather? Mainly the temperature, humidity, visibility, how you look outside, what you feel, right? Rainfall, cloud, sunlight, atmospheric pressure, all these things are the factors which are deciding the weather of a place. Now we okay, Kundan is writing from Chinchpokli, so he is saying it is little. Yes. Kundan, kindly rename yourself. Omkar is at Diva. Okay, fine. Omkar. What is the weather at Diva? Okay, Smriti Mukherjee is saying it is 32 degrees Celsius. So that means what? It is changing from place to place, right? So everyone is having different climate, right? Different, weather, correct? So what I wanted to say you is that weather and climate both are different terms, okay? So weather is nothing but atmospheric condition at a particular place at a specific time. It is different in Badlapur. It is different in Diva. It is different in Wangni. Okay, changing from place to place. Whereas climate, if you will speak about climate, it is a long-term pattern of weather conditions. Okay? It is the average pattern of the weather conditions taken over a period of time, say 30 years, 50 years, okay, for a particular region. It is a long-term predominant condition of the weather. Okay, so what you can say, it is a long-term predominant condition of the atmosphere. That means what? Climate is a long-term pattern. Weather is always changing. Every day it changes depending upon temperature, rainfall, wind condition. Yesterday the weather was different. Today the weather is bit different. Yesterday it was very hot and sunny. Day before yesterday it was rainy. Too much rain, right? Today it is little bit humid, right? So that means what? Weather keeps on changing, but climate would show what? Long-term behavior of the weather in that region. So I hope you understood what is the difference between weather and climate. Okay. So usually what happens? Climate does not change continuously, but weather changes daily. It remains constant. Climate will remain constant in a region for a long duration. Okay. So how you can say, what is the role of the climate in our daily life? Our basic needs like food, clothing, shelter, all this depends on the climate, right? So our occupation, our agriculture, our cropping pattern, everything depends on the climate. Even the construction work that is also depending on the climate related to the climatic conditions. So during construction of seaport, bridges, skyscrapers, so various climatic factors are included, like direction and speed of the wind, what is the temperature, what is the pressure, atmospheric pressure, all this we have to consider. Can you tell me which day is observed as World Meteorological Day, students? Any of you? Give the answers in the public chat. 23rd March. Very good, very good. So all of you know that, right? So 23rd March is considered as World Meteorological Day, right? Okay. So now let us study something more about climate. Most of the countries, you know, they are established meteorological departments, and there are observatories for making and recording the observations on climatic variations. That means what? They are recording the temperatures, air pressure, etc. Okay, various countries, almost every country is having the meteorology department. What is the use of this department? They are having modern instruments, modern technology. Okay, why they use these modern instruments and technology? To study about the climate, to forecast the future conditions, what is going to happen tomorrow or after 1 month. They will come to know so that they can take proper precautions. Okay, so that meteorological department is very much necessary, right? Now, what is the term meteorology called? Now, our second topic is related to that only, meteorology. Okay, meteorology is nothing but the science. Okay, dealing with what? Dealing with interrelationship between various components of air, natural cycles, geological movements of the earth. Now, you know, there are various components of air, right? There are many gases. Air is a mixture of various components of oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, sulfur dioxide, etc., etc. Right? There are many natural cycles taking place in our environment. Like there is oxygen cycle, there is carbon dioxide cycle, water cycle, right? So many natural cycles takes place. Even there are geological movements taking place. So it includes study of storms, clouds, study about rainfall, thunderstorms, lightning. So all this is studied by one department, by the science called meteorology. Okay. So study about the storms, clouds, rainfall, thunder, etc., etc. Many things are there. So after the study of such factors, what weather forecasts are made? Finally, what they make? A forecast is made. Okay, and which are very useful to common man. Like, you know, we all depend on weather, right? Can you name some of the common man who depends on the forecast? Student? Farmers. Very good, Morvika. How farmer is dependent on weather forecast? Can you give the reason? Okay, all the occupations. Fisherman. Very good, Smriti. Fisherman is also depend on weather forecast. Okay. So you all are giving the names of people who are dependent on weather forecast. Pilot, very good. Miners. Okay. That means what? Our occupation, most of the occupation, in most of the occupation, person like farmers or you told me fisherman, they all have to depend on what? Forecast, weather forecast. Aviation service, very good, Sneha. So these all people, farmers, fisheries, aviation service, water transport, okay, all these organizations, they are depending on meteorology. Okay, fine. So what we can say, meteorology is the science that is dealing with interrelationship factors of the components of the air. Okay, natural calamities, natural cycles, geological movements taking place. So all these things, what we study, that is called as meteorology. I hope you understood what is the difference between weather and climate, what is meteorology, Am I sure? Sure, can I proceed forward, students? Okay, fine. At the end, we will have an oral session, okay, where I will be asking few questions. Okay, fine. Thank you, students. So let us move to the next topic. That is, what are the various departments related to this, to the study of meteorology? Okay, first is first department was founded by the British. Okay, in the year 1875 in Shimla. Okay, so then there are certain offices in Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai, Nagpur, and Delhi. Regional offices are there, right? And the head office is at Pune. Okay. And what functions they do? First of all, what they will do? They will prepare and publish the maps. They are preparing the maps twice in 24 hours. Okay. Because I told you climate keeps on changing. So every 24 hours, they have to publish the map. They have to prepare the map and publish it. They're doing research on it. Okay. What all things they're doing in there? Doing the following aspects are studied in research of meteorology, like instruments for climatic readings, predictions are done, okay, about climate using radar, predictions about climate related to seismology and rainfall by satellite, status of air pollution, what is the status of air pollution, how much percentage of oxygen is present today, how much percentage of carbon dioxide is present in the air. So all this they are calculating and making the map for it. Okay, so that is the work of meteorological department. Even they are giving the forecast for citizens, okay, through communication media like televisions, radios, and etc. So sending warnings also, okay, about approaching about natural calamities. If any flood occurs, they will give us the warnings. Okay, so and so date, don't come out of your house because there will be a huge flood today or tomorrow. So be careful, be at home, be safe. Okay, such warnings are given by these departments. They will provide important information regarding weather and climate. Okay, like you told me aviation. Okay, aviation, shipping, agriculture, all these departments are dependent on this meteorology. Okay, they are launching high class technology satellites, okay, and analyzing the information received from these satellites and observatories. So all these things are done by the by what meteorological department, and they're making some models, monsoon model and climate predictions are done. Okay, so to make the predictions about monsoon in India, monsoon models are made. So who was the person behind it? Blandford, H.F. Blandford and Gilbert Walker. Okay, these both were the scientists who started making predictions regarding the nature of the monsoon in India. They studied about the nature of the monsoon in India. So in the decade of 1990, Dr. Vasant Govarkar, he made the first monsoon model for India. Remember this name, student? Dr. Vasantrao Govarkar. Okay, note it down. And so there are actually 3 monsoon models, which you should just remember the names of this. First one is what? Mathematical model. Okay. The second is holistic model, and the third is statistical model. Okay. So these 3 are the main 3 types of monsoon models which you should remember. Okay, my voice is not coming. Some students are saying, am I audible, students? Others, or for everyone it is like that way? It's perfect. Okay, fine. So I hope, I think I'm audible to all of you. Only 1 or 2 are saying my voice is not coming. Please rejoin, students, those who are not able to hear me. Okay, audible. Okay, thank you, students. Okay, fine. So I'm going to share my screen with you for the next topic, that is solid waste management. We have completed with this topic of weather and climate and meteorology. Okay, so we are going to start with this one, solid waste management, right? So for that, I'm going to share my screen with you. Our third topic is about solid waste management. Okay, now you can see one diagram over here in my PPT, which shows what solid waste. Okay, And what it shows, you can observe that garbage collected, okay, inside it, and the arrows which shows that you can recycle your garbages, right? Various materials in the garbages, you can recycle it, reuse it, right? So that is the diagram all about. Now, what is solid waste management? Let us first begin with solid waste. So how it is generated? That is generated because of daily human activities, right? So it is essential to dispose it properly, manage it properly. All the unwanted materials we should manage it. We should dispose it in a proper way. Okay, so waste can be valuable source of energy, right? So that's why solid waste is nowadays taken as a serious worldwide problem that causes pollution to all the ecosystem, maybe water ecosystem, soil ecosystem. Okay, so it is a serious problem even to the economic growth of our country, right? So environmental degradation occurs, our health gets affected because of this solid waste. So improper solid waste management and accumulated solid waste of different types can be a so serious threat to our nature, to the human beings, to the plants, to the animals. Those who are living on this earth, for them, it is a very serious problem, right? So in our daily life, what we should do, we should use such materials and such articles which will not get, which can be getting decomposed easily. Okay, some of them can be reused. Okay, so we have to properly dispose the unwanted material. Otherwise, what will happen? Our environment will get affected. Now, there are two types of waste, students, that is biodegradable waste and non-biodegradable waste. Okay, so biodegradable waste means what? The waste which is degraded by the microorganisms, right? Like kitchen waste, spoiled food, fruits, vegetables, all this comes under biodegradable waste. You can also call it as wet solid waste or wet garbage. Okay, and it is of organic type. It should be decomposed carefully. It can be converted into compost and can even make fuel of good quality from wet garbage. Another is non-biodegradable waste, and this waste takes very long time to decompose, like plastics, metals, and similar other materials. So we call them as what? Dry solid waste or dry garbage. Now, what are the harmful effects of solid waste? Now, you can see one more picture in my PPT that is showing the two roads. One is clean area with garbage versus clean area. Okay, you have to observe this, and we have to identify what all things you can see here. Okay, like the same road after cleaning, how beautiful it looks. But if there are garbages all over the roads, nobody would like to walk through that place because it looks very dirty, right? Similarly, in our classroom, if we'll keep our classroom clean, it will be a healthy environment, right, students? If you keep your house clean, the house will look beautiful, right? If you'll keep your environment clean, our environment will be very healthy. So what are the harmful effects? First of all, you can say it will affect the biodiversity. That means what? Different plants and animals are also living along with us. So it can affect them. Bad odor of waste is again harmful to us. There are toxic gases coming out of this waste that is poisonous. Okay. So degradation of natural beauty occurs. Okay. And again, there will be pollution, which is very harmful, pollution of air, water, soil, etc. etc. Okay. So that is the harmful effect of solid waste. Now, how you can manage it? First of all, what we can do, we can separate it and categorize it. Okay? Separate it means what? Biodegradable and non-biodegradable, we had to separate it. Okay. Then biomedical waste management can be done. Pyrolysis can be done. That means what? Burning of waste at very high temperature. Okay. Then composting can be done. Industrial solid waste management like landfill methods are there. Safe landfill sites are there. Vermicomposting. So there are many different types of solid waste management. So any of the things we can apply. Okay. Why it is necessary? For this solid waste management is necessary, first of all, to prevent the pollution and to keep our surroundings clean. As I've shown you in the PPT, the clean area versus area with garbage. So everyone would like the clean area, right? So that's why it is necessary. Next, production of energy. Okay, production of energy and fertilizers or manure. There is generation of work, employment opportunities occurs to reduce the strain on natural resources, to improve the health and quality of life. So these are various reasons why we should do the solid waste management. Okay. Okay. Now in the PPT, you can see, okay, how the mother is guiding her son, okay, for what? How to use the dustbin, right? So there you can see the pic where it shows the mother is explaining the different methods of storing the solid waste, like wet waste. Red dustbin is for wet waste and green dustbin is for dry waste. Also, you can see in the next PPT, students, you can see there are 4 dustbins. First one is for paper, which is in blue color. Second is for glass pieces, which is shown by green color. Also, you can see a yellow dustbin where all the plastic materials like pens, etc., all that is kept, and metals. All the metals are in red box. Okay, that means what? You are separating the solid waste. Okay, in different boxes or different dustbins. So that is very useful. Okay, so I hope you understood what is solid waste management and what is the importance of solid waste management. Right? So all these principles we should use in our day-to-day life. Next, we are going to learn about disaster management. Right? So disaster management, disasters can be natural or it can be man-made. Disasters can occur anytime, anywhere. Like there is lightning, flood, fires taking place, earthquakes. Okay, there is tsunami. Okay, all these are natural disasters. While there are certain disasters like accidents, bomb explosions, there can be chemical accidents in the industry, stampedes occurs in mass gathering, riots there. Okay, these all are called as man-made disasters. So disasters mainly we can say classify it into 2 types, natural and man-made. But all these disasters, it may be natural or man-made. They are causing extensive loss of life as well as property. Okay, so we are going to learn what are the first aids for disaster victims. Okay, what all first aids you should give. So what are the objectives of first aid? In the PPT, I have shown you a small pic of artificial breathing. Right? Now, artificial breathing is given to save the life of a person. Like that way, there are many first aid to disaster victims. Right? So, main objective of first aid is what? To prevent the death and to improve the health. Okay, all these are the main objectives. So basic principles we are going to take ABC. That is called as A for airway method, B for breathing, and C for circulation. Okay. Now what is mean by airway? So suppose if the victim is having difficulty in breathing, what you should do? The head is held in a backward sloping position or the chin is raised to keep the respiratory passage open. In that position, you should make the person or the patient comfortable. That is called as airway method, so that he can breathe properly. Okay. The second method is breathing. In breathing, what you can do in case if the in case of arrest of breathing, the victim is given what artificial ventilation. How artificial ventilation can be given by mouth to mouth resuscitation. So this way we can give artificial breathing. Third comes circulation. Now in circulation, if the victim is suppose unconscious, even after giving mouth to mouth respiration twice, the heart should be pressed down hard by pressing the chest with both the palms. Okay. Then after that, these actions you have to repeat it continuously for 15 minutes. Right? That means what? You should press the heart of that person down by pressing the chest with both the palms. Using both the palms, you should press the chest and continuously repeat it for 15 times, and that is called as cardiopulmonary resuscitation. That is CPR. Okay. So CPR is given, which helps what to bring the circulation back to normal. Blood circulation, if it stops, so it will come to normal by doing this exercise. Okay. So CPR is given, right? So these, that is called ABC. Okay. ABC are the three ways, basic principles of first aid. That is A for air, B for breathing, and C for circulation. So that is what is shown in the PPT, right? So, so there are certain other things also, students, which we should know apart from this. Okay. Okay, students. So I hope whatever I explained you, that is much more clear, I feel. Okay, fine, Sneha. Good. Okay. Now there are certain things like there is suppose bleeding takes place in any of the accident, bleeding occurs. What you can do to the wound? Now you have to reply me. How you will help that person who is bleeding because of some accident, some road accident took place and the person is bleeding in front of you. What all things, how you can help that person? Okay, by first aid. Very good, Maithili. What you will do in a first aid? Okay, Revati. Okay, fine. Tie the cloth. Okay. First call the ambulance. Okay. Ambulance is the second. Na? First we should do the first aid. Okay. If it is, if we can help that person in, how we can do? Okay. Using antiseptic pad. Very good. Okay. Cover the wound by antiseptic pad. Okay, fine. By giving pressure. Okay, fine. Many answers I'm getting. Good. So that means what? If the victim is bleeding, then first of all, you should cover the wound with an antiseptic pad. Okay, what is this antiseptic pad? If suppose antiseptic pad is not there, what you will take? You can even use Dettol in a cloth or cotton, right? And wipe the wound. Clean the wound so that if any dust or particles are there or any microbes should not enter. So for that you should cover the wound, right? Clean the wound. Understood? So with clean clothes you can wipe the wound, right? And make the attempt to stop the bleeding by applying the pressure. That is the important thing. Okay. Okay, next, if suppose any fracture occurs on the vertebral column, okay, the fractured bone should not be moved. It should be immobilized. Immobilized means what? It should not, the person should not move it, move the hands or legs. Okay. So what you can give him, wooden rod or some rulers, right? So in case vertebral column is not proper, the patient is kept immobile and a stretcher is used. Firm stretcher is used for that part. So in that way you can help the person. Wheelchair can also be taken. Yes. So if any burns occur, suppose you are at home and somebody got burned injuries, how you will clean it? What you will do first of that? Okay, fine. Cold flowing water. We can pour cold flowing water. Very good, students. Okay, fine. So you all know all what first aids we should take, right? So for burn injuries, the injured part should be kept under what? Clean water, clean and cold flowing water for at least 10 minutes. Okay. Now what is meant by rice remedy? Have you heard about rice remedy? Rice remedy is for injuries like sprain, okay, twisting. Okay, rice remedy can be applied. Rice is, what is the full form? Rest, R for rest, I for ice, C for compression, and E for elevate. Okay, so that is called as rice remedy. Fine. So these are some of the topics which we have covered today. Okay, still there are a few more topics like disaster management. Okay, there are factors involving disaster management. First of all, prevention of loss and danger, improving tolerance among the victims. Okay, so you can prevent the loss and danger. You can bring back their confidence. You can provide relief to them. Okay, by minimizing the extent of harm. Okay, and prepare them to face the disaster by giving warnings. Right. So then you can take immediate action in the disaster situation, and by not allowing any delays in the work, right? Assessment of damages can be done, intensity of the disaster can be calculated, arranging rescue work, many rescue works can be done. You can help the weak person, okay, in changing their houses or residence, rehabilitation, rebuilding their houses after the calamity. Also, we can help the people, those who are finding it difficult to manage. Okay, so that is all what we are learning in this chapter. And then how you can transport the patients or transport the victims. What are the different ways? Okay, there is one page in your textbook, students, page number 106. Okay, there they have shown the different pictures showing the transport of patients. Like cradle method is one of the method used. Okay, then we can carry the victims in a piggyback. Piggyback. Then there is human crutch method. Okay, then pulling or lifting method by lifting the person. Also, you can make a four-hand chair. Okay, you can use your two people can catch each other's hands and make a four-hand chair, small chair, so that the victim can sit on your hand and you can carry them, okay, towards the ambulance or towards wherever you want, towards a hospital, nearby hospital. So how you can carry the person using your four-hand chair, okay. Then also you can carry in two-hand chair also, right? Then using stretcher, you know stretch, what is stretcher? Okay, that all are the various methods of transporting the victims as a first aid. So all these things you should know it. Okay, even emergency methods are there, like there are wooden boards, bamboo floats, air-filled rubber tubes are there. Okay, from a tire we can make that, and during emergency we can use it. So I hope the lesson is much more clear to you, students. Okay, so today we have studied about weather and climate. What is weather? What is climate? How you can define meteorology? What is meteorology? Okay, what is meteorological department? What is the function of meteorological department? What is solid waste management? What are the two types of solid waste? And then we studied how to segregate the solid waste. Okay, like plastic, metal, paper, all this, how you can segregate it. Okay, then we studied about the this one, disaster management. What is disaster management? What are the different types of disaster? Natural disasters, man-made disasters. How you can help those victims, those who are suffering from these disasters. What first aid you can give to them. So all these were the important topics which you covered. I hope you understood and you learned the value from this, that nothing but environmental protection and you can say that you have studied how to save the environment from pollution, right? So that is the important value which you learned today, students. I hope everyone understood. It is a very simple and easiest chapter, right? So